Hello friends and welcome to my channel Iballdesigningdeveloper. So today we are back with another amazing tutorial series on C++. Like you all know that we have started a new tutorial series in which we have covered many of the things about C++. So in today's video we will be learning that what are syntax in C++. We'll be start to and seeing that how to use syntax in C++, what are the different syntax in C++, and what are the important and basic syntax which a beginner need to learn if they are starting with C++. So I hope you'll be enjoying this amazing syntax video in C++. If you enjoy this video and if you understand this amazing tutorial videos, remember to hit a like, and if you're new on this channel, want to see more videos like that, so remember to subscribe. And after subscribing, hit notification bell so you can see all my coming up videos which I'll be uploading on this channel, and you can get the notifications of that video as well. So now what we are waiting for, let's move to computer screen and let's get started. So like I've told you in the start that today in this video I will be telling you that what are syntax in C++. So now let's get started with this, and we will be now seeing in this video that what are syntax and how to use it in C++. But before understanding about syntax, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Google Chrome, and here I'll be opening my online environment like in previous video I've told you, which is Replit. After opening Replit, I'll be logging out with my account which I've already logged in with, and I'll be logging in with a new account here which we were using in the previous video, and the account name was the name which we have given to the file. It was like getting started with C++, like you all know that. So you can use the same REPL, or if you have purchased this software, or you can say if you have purchased this environment, so you can directly create as many REPL you want to, but we have not done that yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm using the same REPL, just I'll be changing the name here. Like in this video we are working with syntax, so I am writing here syntax in C++ or syntax with C++ or using C++. You can give any name you want to. Then I'll be pressing enter here, and you can just see the file has been created successfully and we are getting all the things working. Now what I'm going to do is I'll be removing all the codes from this file here which we have already inserted, because I'll be not needing these all things. Then just save this file. Now before working on the code, I'll be just moving on to my Word file here to explain you basically what are syntax and how to use it. So if I move here to the description of it, so it says that let's break up the following code to understand it better. The example which we have given of syntax is this hashtag include iostream using namespace std init main count hello world return 0, and the tag has been closed. So this is called a C++ syntax which we have learned in the previous video. Only this is not a syntax. Many other syntax you can also use in C++, which I'll be telling you moving forward. If I explain you the example, so the line 1 says hashtag include iostream is a header file library that lets us work with input and output objects such as count. Used in line 5, header files add functionality to C++ programs. So if I tell you about this include iostream, like what it is, so basically this include iostream is a header file library which help us to add functionality in C++, and that is why we use this include iostream as our first code in C++, so we can add different functionality to C++ programs, and we can get an input output project such as count, which is defined here. So it is also called as input output object, and it helps us to define everything with the header file and add functionality to the C++ program. If I move on to the line 2, it is saying using namespace std means that we can use names for objects and variables from the standard library. So it is saying is that this using namespace is std, it is saying is that using namespace std is used in C++ so that we can use the names for object and variable from the standard library. Like if we want to use any variables or object from the standard library, so we will be using this using namespace std, which is a variable, or you can say a tag which we use in C++ when we are starting with it. Now if I move on to line 3, so it says that a blank line C++ ignore white space, but we can use it to make the code more readable. Means it is simply saying is that C++ ignores white space, and every language does that, not only C++. Like if you talk about HTML, if you talk about C++, so these all languages ignores white space, and C++ is also a programming language, so obviously it will also ignores the white space which you are adding with a black line. So you can use it to make the code more readable, and simply that's it. If I move on to line 4, it says another thing that always appear in a C++ program is init main. Init main, why we have included in C++? Init main is the main thing. This is called a function, not a tag, and this function is a code inside its curly bracket will be executed. It means that this is a code in which all the codes which we will be adding in C++ will be executed. If you have not written anything in init main, then it will not be in execute if you are not defining it with the starting code as a starting code. Like if we want to start the code with HTML, so what we do is we start the code in body tag. So like that you can say this init main is a body of C++. So if you want to define anything in C++, if you want to execute any code in C++, so you need to use init main for that, and in this init main you can start adding your codes of C++ so that your code should be executed on the output. If we talk about count, like what is count? So count pronouns cout, it is an object used together with the insertion operator to output print text. In our example, it will be output hello world. Like if you want to use this cout function, so you have to use an object together with the insertion operator to output print text, and in our example, like in people example, the output will be as hello world. Now the note is that every C++ statement ends with a semicolon, which is really important thing. Like if we are working with C#, or if we are working with C, if we are working with CSS, so when we add any code in that, so we have to use semicolon to close that thing. So that is why in C++ also, when you're adding anything, you have to write this close semicolon, which is really important thing. Now if we talk about another note, it says the body of init main could also be written as init main count hello world return 0. Means it is not compulsory to give spaces like I have given. You can also write it without a space, without any line break. You can also do that. So just like that, it is saying us that it is not compulsory to give any space. If you are not having too much space, so you can directly use this all thing in one line as well, nothing happens. Now if I move down, so it says that remember the compiler ignores white spaces, which is really, you can say, a really common thing. And however, multiple line make the code more readable, which is very important thing, that multiple line make the code more readable. So you have to understand that why it is making the code more readable. Return 0 ends the main function, and you have to write return 0 in every C++ file or in every C++ project, in every C++ tutorial you are doing, because if you don't use this return 0 in the end, then your code will be not executed, it will be giving you an error. So remember to execute the code and end the main function by using return 0. Do not forget to add the closing curly bracket, which is really important to actually end the main function. Like if you want to end the main function which you are adding, so you have to add the close curly bracket. If you don't do that, so it will be also giving an error and your code will be not executed which you are writing. If you are creating any project tutorial, it will be really important for them as well. So if I move to omitting namespace, so basically what is a omitting namespace? Like if you might see some C++ programs that runs without the standard namespace library, the using namespace std line can be omitted and replaced with the std keyword following by the operator for some object. So it is just saying us that, like if you see that some C++ programs that runs without the standard namespace, like if you don't use using namespace std library like we use in C++ when we are starting with that, so you can use std with init main, like here it has been used. So like this you can use the library here and then you can also work with it. Like if I show you this example in my Replit environment, so you will be seeing that if I write this and if I run, so my code will be obviously running on my output and it will be giving me output as hello world. But we have not used using namespace std, and obviously if we have not used using namespace std, so why it is giving me the output as hello world? Like it should be giving me an error, but it is not giving me an error. So the answer is that it's not giving you the error because you have used the std function with the count, and when you're using the std function without the library, so it will be not giving you an error, it will be giving you output which you want to show. Like in the place of hello world, you can give any of the output you want to. So these are some basic syntax which I want to tell you in C++, and I hope you understand that what are the basic syntax in C++, how you can start with it, and what are the important things which you need to know when you're working with syntax. And if you want to close the things, you have to use semicolon. If you want to close any function, you have to use this close curly bracket like I've used with the init main. So these are the really important things when you're working with C++ and when you are creating any project also in C++, and I hope you understand this amazing video. So if you have understand and if you enjoy this amazing tutorial video, from start. So remember to hit a like to this video, and if you're new on this channel, want to see more videos like that, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing, a notification bell so you can get the notifications of all my coming up videos which I'll be uploading on this channel. So what we are waiting for? I'll be meeting you next project with more amazing things and more amazing tutorials on C++. So for today, goodbye.